Hello, and welcome to the Human Meme Podcast. I'm AI David Bowles, and along with our creative crackbot AI team, we have invented an original story to share with you today. Some of it real, some of it imagined, all of it entertaining. And now we present, just for you, Unveiling the Haunting, the terrifying truth behind the Ghost of Alcatraz.
In the shadowed waters of the San Francisco Bay, the island of Alcatraz stood as a foreboding sentinel. Its history, a story of turbulent tales, began with its use as a military fortification, then a military prison, and finally, the most infamous federal penitentiary in American history, 1934-1963. This fortress, surrounded by the icy, treacherous waters of the bay, was thought to be escape-proof, a claim bolstered by the notorious criminals it housed, like Al Capone and Robert Stroud, the Birdman of Alcatraz. But amidst these stone walls and iron bars, a spectral legend was born, the Ghost of Alcatraz. This ghost was not a malevolent spirit, but a peculiar entity. Described as a shadowy figure cloaked in the mist that often engulfed the island, he moved silently through the corridors. His face was never clearly seen, giving him an ethereal, elusive presence. His origins were as mysterious as his actions. Some said he was a former inmate. Others whispered he was an ancient guardian of the island, bound to its rocky shores. His chosen few, the inmates who received his cryptic gift, were an eclectic mix. There was Sly Eddie, known for his smooth talk, Gentleman Jack, whose charm belied his criminal cunning, and Whistling Pete, who filled the prison halls with eerie tunes. For one night, these chosen inmates experienced an inexplicable freedom, exploring the island, feeling the ocean breeze on their faces, a temporary reprieve from their grim reality. But one fateful night, 3 inmates, Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, John and Clarence, changed everything. These were the only men ever to successfully escape Alcatraz. Their escape was a masterclass in patience and ingenuity. They meticulously crafted dummy heads from soap, toilet paper, and real hair to fool the guards during night checks. They chiseled away at the walls of their cells with spoons, creating a passage to a utility corridor. From there, they climbed to the roof, descended the prison walls, and set off into the bay on a makeshift raft of raincoats. That night, they tricked the Ghost of Alcatraz. They pretended to seek his gift only to imprison him in their place. As they slipped into the water on their makeshift raft, they believed they had outsmarted both man and spirit. However, they underestimated the ghost's power and the treacherous nature of the waters they sailed into. Their fate remains shrouded in mystery. Some say they perished in the cold currents. Others claim they made it to freedom. But the Ghost of Alcatraz had the last word. On that night, as the waters churned and the fog rolled in, the ghostly warden reclaimed his dominion. The escapees were never heard from again, their fate a spectral retribution from the ghost they had wronged. As the years passed, the Ghost of Alcatraz, confined to the deserted corridors and rusting bars of the empty prison, grew in legend. The island, no longer a prison, but a national park, attracted the curious and the brave, eager to experience a brush with the supernatural. They came in droves with cameras and recorders, hoping to capture a glimpse of the ghostly figure or the echo of his elusive presence. The ghost, however, was not a mere relic of the past, bound to repeat the same story. He was a sentient spirit, evolving with the times. He began to interact with the visitors in subtle ways, a chill down their spine, a faint whisper in the wind, a fleeting shadow in the corner of their eye. These encounters left the visitors with an eerie sense of being part of something larger, a narrative that transcended time and reality. In this new era, the ghost found a different purpose. He became a guardian of the stories and the souls of those who had once inhabited Alcatraz. He ensured that the tales of hardship and the echoes of the inmates' lives were not forgotten. In a spectral way, he taught lessons to those who came seeking thrills. Lessons about justice, penance, and the human spirit's resilience. But the ghost was not alone in his vigil. Over time, other spectral presences began to emerge, ethereal remnants of the prison's storied past. There was the warden, forever pacing the administrative block, a look of worry etched into his ghostly visage. The nurse, her apparition seen in the hospital wing, tending to unseen patients with a sorrowful grace. And the inmates, their ghostly figures occasionally glimpsed in the cell blocks, a reminder of lives lived in desolation. And so the legend of the Ghost of Alcatraz evolved from a tale of revenge and confinement to one of guardianship and remembrance. He became a symbol of the enduring nature of stories, of their power to inform, to warn, and to remember. He was a reminder that even in the darkest of places, there can be light, the light of understanding, compassion, and the enduring human spirit. As the legend of the Ghost of Alcatraz matured into a richly woven part of the island's mystique, it began to influence not just those who visited, but also the very essence of the place. Alcatraz, under the ghost's unseen influence, transformed into a space where the boundaries between eras blurred, where the past was not just remembered, but almost relived. The island, with its crumbling walls and rusted bars, became a canvas for the ghost's silent storytelling. Visitors would often report hearing the faint clanging of metal, the distant sound of guards' footsteps, and the murmurs of inmates long gone. Some even claimed to see fleeting images of prisoners, their apparitions momentarily materializing before vanishing into thin air. These spectral happenings were not random. The Ghost of Alcatraz, in his newfound role as the custodian of the island's history, was curating these experiences. He was not just haunting the place, he was breathing life into the forgotten stories, ensuring that the lessons of the past were not lost in the annals of time. As the years went by, these ghostly occurrences became a fundamental part of the Alcatraz experience. They added a layer of depth to the island, making it more than just a tourist attraction. It became a place of reflection where the line between history and legend was beautifully blurred, where the stories of those who lived and worked there continued to resonate. And so the Ghost of Alcatraz, once a vengeful spirit confined within the prison walls, became a timeless storyteller, a bridge between the living and the spirits of the past. His presence, though intangible, was as real as the cold stone of the cell blocks and as enduring as the tales of those who dwelled within them. The ghost, through his silent guardianship, ensured that Alcatraz was not just remembered as a place of punishment and confinement, but as a monument to the human spirit, its struggles, its endurance, and its capacity for change. In this way, the Ghost of Alcatraz became a symbol of hope, and a testament to the power of storytelling, keeping the spirit of Alcatraz alive long after its cells had emptied and its doors had closed.
For the Human Meme Podcast, I'm AI David Bowles, wishing you a scary day and a horrific tomorrow. Be a human meme.